data science. This is actually organized to empower women in data science. So, and to recognize them. So make sure your team consists of 50% women. Yeah, so I think I covered who can participate. And also, if you have any questions regarding this presentation, you can definitely type them in your chat and ask. I'm happy to answer them. And also, let's make this more of an interactive session. Yeah. Now, how it works and the timeline. So this will run from early January to late February. So you can submit your predictions even now, because in the Kaggle page, this challenge is running at the moment we are speaking, and it will run till late February. And you're provided with training and validation sets for model development. And afterwards, you can upload your predictions for a test set to Kaggle. I will show you how you can upload them to Kaggle. And these predictions that you upload will be used to determine the public leaderboard. So if you're wondering when the winners will be announced, they will be announced at the WiDS Stanford conference, which will be held on the 8th of March. So beyond these leaderboard rankings, if you are an undergraduate or if you're from a high school, you are eligible for a few other prizes as well. So if you don't make up to the leaderboard, but if you have a good model with high performance, you can actually be one of the winners of these prizes, which will be awarded to the best high school and the undergraduate teams. And then the evaluation metric. So what is an evaluation metric? These evaluation metrics are actually used to measure the quality of the statistical or machine learning model. Because evaluating these statistical or machine learning algorithms is actually very essential for any project. Because there are many because like when we fit a model, we should know, because we actually fit a model to training data. So once you fit a model to training data, you must know how this model performs against unseen data. So you need to evaluate it using an evaluation metric. So for this specific challenge, the evaluation metric that will be used is this root mean square error, which is also known as RMSE. And it is a commonly used measure which measures the difference between the predicted and actual values or the observed values. And in this challenge, in the test data set, you will have to predict the values based on other meteorological data that is provided to you, and you won't have access to actual values. So by the Kaggle system, they will be calculating your RMSE value based on the predictions you submit to the Kaggle. Then the submission format. So this is another important thing you should consider, because when submitting your predictions, you need to have two columns. The first one is the index column, and the second column is the target variable. I'll explain more about the target variable in the future slides. For now, remember, you can actually, according to WiDS rules, these two values should be separated by commas. So actually, what you can do is you can keep the predictions as a CSV file, because it is actually a comma separated structured table. So when you save your predictions as a CSV file and then upload it to Kaggle, then you're good to go. And always remember, you have to use this exact naming, as in lowercase exact naming when submitting your predictions, because Kaggle can then only detect what's your index and what is your prediction is. Also, you can interchange this index and the other column, as in you can have the index as the first column or the second column, that doesn't matter, but make sure the naming standard as the name exactly matches with the given naming. Don't use uppercase, stick with this format, because as I told you, Kaggle will actually detect the target variable with the exact match. Okay. Then another important thing is this leaderboard standings. How the leaderboard is calculated before the competition and after the competition is a bit different, because during the competition, the leaderboard is calculated with approximately 50% of the test data. So, so once the competition closes, the final standings can be different from what's there during the competition, because when calculating the final standings, the other 50% of test data will be taken into account. So what I want to highlight is this is actually they are only using 50% of the test data during the competition to calculate the leaderboard, mainly to avoid overfitting your models, and also to keep you engaged in this competition, because just because you become the top at the leaderboard during the competition won't guarantee that you will be the first even after the competition, because there can be slight changes. So what you have to do is you have to keep trying, and you have to try to minimize your RMSE as much as possible. And also I want to highlight this: in the Kaggle, the score of your submissions will be displayed. So this score is actually the root mean square error. So unlike your university scores and school scores, which you actually try to get higher scores, but in this case, you have to actually try to get a lower score as possible, because score is actually representing the root mean square error. So you actually have to get a lower root mean square error as much as possible. So you have to keep trying to get that lower root mean square error. And once I'm explaining the Kaggle platform, I'll tell you some important things: how many submissions are permitted per day, and important things like that. So for now, this is a rough idea about the leaderboard standings. And moving on, now I'll explain about the data set. So as I told you, this Datathon 2023 will focus on a prediction task involving forecasting subseasonal temperatures that are actually long-range weather forecasts over a 2-week period in the United States. So as I told you, we have access to train and test data sets, and also it consists of weather and climate information for a number of US locations, for a number of start dates for the 2-week observation period. And also, you can also see some forecasted temperature and precipitation from number of weather forecast models, such as the NAMM model, which is known as the North American multi-model, and different models that are already available. So when I'm showing the Kaggle platform, I'll show you. So they have also included some forecasted temperature and precipitation from a number of weather forecast models that are already available in the United States. So in each row of this data corresponds to a single location and a single start date for a 2-week period. So as I told you, your task is to predict the target variable for each location and start date. So as I told you, you are provided with 2 data sets, the train and the test data. So actually, the train and test data, the difference is in the train data set, you have the target variable, but in the test data set, the target variable is not available for you. What you have to do is you have to build a model for train data set and then use that model to arrive at predictions for the test data set. Okay, and then this is how the train data set looks like. There are several variables that are available. I think around 240 variables that are available. And in the test data set, you have same set of variables, excluding the target variable. So now I always mention the name target variable. So what is actually the target variable in this competition? It is actually the arithmetic mean of the maximum and minimum observed temperature over the next 14 days for each location and start date. So this is actually how it is calculated. So this is the target variable that we have to predict in this WiDS Datathon challenge. Yeah, so now I'll move on to the Kaggle platform. Yeah, hope you can see my screen. So the very first thing is you have to log in to your Kaggle account. If you don't have an account, what you can do is you can go to kaggle.com, and then you can, if I sign out and show you, you can actually see register option or sign in option here. If you don't have an account, you have to register. All the team members must have a Kaggle account. So after registering, you can sign in. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. And then you can, so you already, I think, have the WiDS Datathon competition URL. If you don't have it, you can just search and you can go to competitions here, competitions, and then you can click on the Datathon competition. So in this Kaggle page, you can actually find all the rules that you need to follow in order to take part in this competition. So once you go through all these rules and regulations, you can click on join competition. Yeah, so I'm not going to join this competition, but when you're joining the competition, you have to click on join competition, and then you have to accept the rules. You have to click I understand and accept the rules. Yeah, so once you accept the rules, you can actually view data. You can also see the data description. They have actually provided you the data sources where they obtain all these data from, for temperature, global precipitation, and all that. And also there is a special variable naming that they're following. So there is a prefix and suffix, which consist of two parts separated by a double underscore, and that inform you of the meaning of the variable. So when it comes to the prefix of the variable, it indicates from which of the above listed file the variable was derived. So from which file the variable was derived is indicated by the prefix. And then the suffix indicates the specific type of information that was extracted from the file. So you can actually get used the variable prefixes and the variables without prefix, so you can get a good understanding about the variables. And then you have also given the target variable. And then you can see actually three separate files here in the Data Explorer. So this is the train data set. You can see there are 246 columns, including the index. So you can actually build your model to this train data set. And this is the test data. So in this, you have 245 columns because they have dropped the target variable here because that is what you are going to predict in this competition. And this is a sample solution. Actually, this is a randomly generated sample solution. So what they mean is what they need the index here, index. I told that the order of the columns actually do not matter as long as the variables are named properly. So you need to have the index, and this is the target variable. So your prediction file should be something like this. So you can upload your prediction CSV once you are done with your model building. You can upload your predictions. And then or you can also have with this discussion here, like there are important, like others have actually included some important event recordings, and also they have suggested several things, and there are certain clarifications that some participants have asked for. So you can actually go through this discussion as well to get a good idea. And this is the leaderboard. So as you can see, as I told you, at the top, you can see this leaderboard is calculated with approximately 50% of the test data. The final results will be based on the other 50%. So the final standings can be a bit different from what is existing right now. So you can see currently the lowest RMSC has been obtained by this team, and their score is 0.774. So you need to get a lower RMSC, so in order to go to the top of the leaderboard. So per day you can submit 15 submission files. So And then, and as in after 24 hours, the system will again be refreshed. And then again, the next day you can upload again 15 submission files. So for the final calculation, once the competition is over, for the final calculation, they will be considering the 2 files with the lowest RMSC to find your position in this leaderboard. I hope I'm clear. If you have any questions, you can ask. So this is the leaderboard. And then you can read the rules. 1 account per participant. I'm not going to read out the rules to you. You can actually go through. And then you have to actually, you can include your team members by inviting them. And then you can actually name, as in have a team name and include it in here. So you can go to this team tab and form your team. You can invite your participants and then form a team. And you have to submit your files here. So you can actually select up to 2 submissions that will count towards your final leaderboard score. Yeah, so that's it. And when you want to submit your predictions, you have to click here. So without using this challenge page, I'll just show you how to submit a prediction for another ongoing challenge. Actually, it is an open challenge and it is not a very serious challenge like it was there for many years. Wait, I'll show you. This house price challenge. Actually, if you want to learn how to submit your predictions, you can use this challenge. I'll send the link to you in the chat after this session. So you can actually submit predictions and see how this works. Yeah, so what you have to do is here also they have the same format, like they have data, they have train, test, and this sample submission. What I did was I actually downloaded this sample submission just to show you how to submit your predictions to this Kaggle platform. And then here also you can see a leaderboard, and you can see the score, like 0 means that is actually the best score, because here also the evaluation metric is RMSC. And then, so what you have to do is you have to click on submit predictions. And then you have to browse. Here they have mentioned the type of files that they are accepting. They're accepting CSV files. So I'm going to locate my file. So this is the sample submission that I downloaded for the purpose of showing. I'm going to upload it. And then you can submit. Yeah, and then it shows that it is a successful submission. And then you can also view the public score here. So for this specific challenge, for the sample submission file, I got an RMSC score of 0.406. So in that WiDS challenge, as I told you, you can submit up 15 per day. And again, it will get refreshed in the next day. And again, you can submit 15 on the next day. So you can keep trying till you come up in this leaderboard. And also, you can go through all this. And I hope I was clear. If you have any questions, please ask them. You can type them in the chat, or else you can unmute yourself and ask. So I think I covered everything. I showed you, I gave you an introduction to the challenge, then showed you the data set for this challenge. And I also showed you how to submit your prediction and how this Kaggle platform works. So if you have any questions, please ask them.
Hi, excuse me.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I missed this when you were saying in the beginning, but there's a section where it says to register here in the overview part in Kaggle, right?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So there's a section, the overview tab in Kaggle, and under that it mentions about I think, couple of paragraphs down, it says register here, etc., to join the competition, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I missed it, but are we supposed to fill it, or like we're
Yes,
supposed to fill that, right?
yes, each team member must actually fill it. So you have to register for the competition. So if you have 4 members in your team, all 4 must register separately in using that link provided in the overview section of the Kaggle.
All right.
Is it clear? Okay.
Yeah.
I can show for others as well. So you have to register. So you have to go to this Kaggle page, and in this overview section, you can see this register here. You have to click and register yourself first in order to compete in this challenge. And also it says that all participants must register to participate in this challenge. So all team members must register in order to take part in this challenge using this link. Any other questions? Also, I shared the Kaggle competition, which I told you. So if you want to get experience on how to submit a file to Kaggle platform, you can use that competition and get used to it before submitting your files to the WiDS Datathon challenge. Any other questions? Seems like there are no other questions. So thank you very much for your time and attention. And also, like, I'll be here till the end of the next session. So if you have any questions, you can even type your questions and send them in the chat. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Saumya. That was extremely useful to all the participants here today. So next, what we have would be the team formation. If you could just give us a few more minutes until we finalize the teams and the mentors, that would be great. Just a reminder again, if you are planning on participating and you haven't mentioned your name in the chat, please do mention it. And it doesn't matter even if you're not from Sri Lanka and you're here, it's all right to include your name and take part. We can just assign a mentor for you. Just give us a few more minutes until we finalize the teams. Thank you.
Hello.
You're audible,
hello.
Kangalika. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Nakira. And everyone, until the teams are being formed, I will be introducing the mentors for you. First, we have Dr. Samira Viskula. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Colombo. Then we have Manik Fernando. He's a senior machine learning engineer at Search Global. We also have Nuzi Mayan. He's a technical consultant and enterprise data architect for John Hughes IT. Also, we have Chandika Aryaratna, a senior product specialist at IFS, and Kanchana Ranasinghe, who is a PhD student at Storybrooke University. So we will be sharing
on the chat the teams that are being formed. Okay, so the teams that we have formed currently, we will have data twisters, that is Tushali Kodikara, Irusha Pereira, and Sanduni Tikshana under New Zealand. Then we will have Purani Anna Sivatta and Francis JV under Chandika Aryaratna. Then we will have Fatima Favin under Kanchana Ranasinghe, and Jivanti Panavala under Mr. Manik Fernando. And then we have Team Infinity, that is Kirtana Gunaratnam and Abhishaya Mohanalingam under Dr. Samira Viswakola. So what we will be doing now is we will be breaking you into some breakout groups so that you can speak with your mentor, introduce yourselves. We'll be giving about 10 minutes for you to sort of exchange your contact details, maybe form a WhatsApp group or whatever convenient method for you to communicate in the future, and then apply to the Datathon as a group. So if you want to change the group that we have allocated you to, you can just send us an email, or if you want to maybe ask another person, a friend, to join your team, again, you can just send us an email and we can arrange that for you. So Vimuptini, would you be assigning the breakout rooms now?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so for Dr. Samira's, we don't have the participants at the moment, but for everybody else, I would be breaking out the rooms and you have 10 minutes to get to know each other.
Hello, hello guys. May I leave?
Yeah,
I'm
so yes, I shall email you with your team members on CC so that you all can talk to
yes,
each other
please.
and get
Yes,
in.
yes. I'm kind of on the way, so yeah. Thanks.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Um, can I talk to Raslan? I believe apart from the hosts, you're a team member, right? Are you interested in getting a mentor for you? Or are you just not participating for the data, then you wanted to get to know the content?